Previously on Octane Thermoplastic. I mean, it was inevitable we were going to have to give this a go, right? I'm going to attempt to pick it up. How am I doing this on the platform again? In a 3, 2, 1. Ah! Okay, it's not as bad as it looks. It's just the front gate. But oh, that smacked. Still no broken brown pieces though. This is a win. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back indeed to part 3 of Octane Build's Lookout Landing and Secret Cave Discovery underneath, where as you just saw, things have hit a bit of a road bump, because how on earth am I going to put a cave system underneath this if it can't support its own weight? Now, one thing we have learned, of course, is that the back section is absolutely fine. The modifications we made to the tower section in the last part, as well as this hinge here, were actually very, very helpful in minimizing the damage. It does, in fact, come down to the hinges on the side here, and even though that they are 2 and they are strong, it turns out the sort of sagging in the middle is not great. Now, as we had briefly mentioned, I had been implementing a tab system to help keep them together, and that is something I want to extend all the way along. However, what we really need to do is find a way to clip these 2 sections together here. But that's not all, because in today we're also going to be building the cave system, making those upgrades, and hopefully getting this model to a finished state. So I think what I need to do is I need to get all these figures out of the way, get all the loose bits out of the way, and start experimenting with some clips. So I've been trying a bunch of different solutions. You can see I've ordered in a variety of different parts. Had these hinges here along with their counterparts, and I was really hopeful about this because they've got that sort of alignment, and of course because they're super thin, which would mean I don't have to do something that we're going to talk about in just a second. However, they're actually far too strong and proved really quite difficult to pull apart. As you can see, I'm struggling. I'm only on one-handed, but the forces here were not having it at all. So those ones were eliminated as well. I also went for the classic pip and clip technique. This is still actually my backup. So if all goes wrong, this will be what we use. And I've had success having the 2 halves clipped together like that. Although it's a little strong and it's a little finicky, so not my favorite. I have also tried click hinges. So again, these are another potential backup, hence why we have quite a few of them. And then I have one more, and this is the one I'm actually going to try first for a number of reasons, and that is this guy here, using the same technique that we used in Queen Gibdo's base, which is to use illegally this clip here and effectively just like clip it onto there. And that is a loose connection that should hopefully support the 2 together, because remember, I'm not actually aiming to support and like have them be rigid. All I need to do is clip them together so that they stay on the ridge that I'm building in to the backside, and that is the only goal. The reason we're choosing this piece is obviously because it is thin, and not just is it thin, it is thin and has a lot of studs for clutch, because with ones like this I'm worried that as I try to slide them together, they're basically going to buckle underneath or twist out and then pop off, and then it'll be a problem. And the reason for that is obviously any clip is 2 plates thick, so it means I cannot put it on just underneath the green, which means any modification like this is going to increase the thickness. So it's going to sit one further back, but effectively it's going to sit like this. So I need to have a lot of friction so that I don't have to add another layer of support underneath. Now the problem obviously comes is with the receivers, because these are almost undoubtedly going to need some other support underneath. So my goal is to attempt 1 layer of plates, but if that doesn't work, I'm going to have to add 2 layers of plates to the base here. And look, you can see that that's going side to side, but that's because I'm allowing it to move. What I'm thinking is it's got enough down, and then of course as soon as it moves side to side, it pops off the hinge here. So that is the plan. I am a little scared because it's basically meaning I'm going to have to do surgery, and what do you know, those 2x8 plates that we got off the wall in the last episode, it turns out those are going to be really, really useful, because I'm going to have to add 1, potentially 2 plate layers to the entirety of this thing. However, I want to see if I can avoid increasing the height effectively, so at least when it's attached to Secret Cave, by only placing the 2x8s in the holes under Secret Cave. This may or may not look really, really ugly. The other big thing, of course, is the reason I'm okay with adding these 2 extra layers is because it will allow me to grip underneath it easier. It will give me something to get my hands under, which will be a win. But welcome back to Lookout, where nothing ever goes quite the way you plan. I am now going to attempt to... Well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to go build Secret Cave Discovery and come back to this later because it scares me. Okay, and the parts for Secret Cave Discovery are now out and on the table. And actually, once again, a fairly large selection of large ones. Yeah, this is nowhere near as bad as Lookout. I don't think this is going to take very long at all. Yeah, mostly plates, mostly a base, and we'll see how it goes. It is definitely going much quicker. So as before, we have the base all set up. It is sort of done differently this time. We got a bit more technique going on, and that was obviously a bit stupid really, wasn't it? Because obviously this is not the one that has to be lifted in the air. We've got this technic rod sticking out over here, and that is for the feature to ascend, that's what it's called. And you can see obviously over here, I've already got these pieces which I've had to take off because I am stupid and I have made mistakes. So firstly, there is a little bit of yellow down there because I keep using jumper plates on these when they don't need jumpers because they don't fit in with the studs, and Stu let me do it. Also, I think this can be simplified because this is just a bit much really, isn't it? It's just a bit excessive. There's also like no connection here for no reason. I don't understand why. And then actually, if we think about the ultimate why, is this. Like, what are these even, why do they leave these on the model? They're not gonna have any use. That being said, they might actually, because remember this one's not gonna have to lift up, so I may end up just building like a support pillar here for the lookout tower, because obviously if that was a problem on the upper layer, it is certainly going to be a problem down here. In the back and floor we have this here. This is the explosion feature. We'll see if that works. I'm skeptical. I may have to just adjust how this is done actually, and instead of putting this tile on the middle, it may be that we put it, say, here, and then you have to press downwards or something like that. But again, I'll adjust that as needed. We've got the trim all the way around. This one I was able to find a solution for, so that wasn't a problem. And yeah, it's nice and rigid, way more rigid than the other one, obviously, because it's thicker. And that's, to be honest, it's probably about a third of all the parts. So we've got this much left to do, obviously the stickers and so on, and it's going by pretty quick, and I think that is going to continue because obviously we're just going to sort of build up the central room and then see how things go. I dropped my tray of boulders on the floor. Yay! But to be fair, my mood has significantly improved since getting off the Technic frame. You'll notice a couple of the moss clumps and stuff around. I did that while I was sort of hammering down this massive layer of 16 by 16. This needs to change. This cannot be a normal thing for people to do. 8 by 8s are also cheaper, so we'll do that. But yeah, we've got the full bunker interior sort of sorted. No stickers yet, obviously going to be a recipe on the wall, so I'll show you again when we've added those. But we've got the cooking pots. I need to redo the attachment here because it is a little bit loose, but you could argue that that's just them humming around as Mr. Link sort of messes around with them. And then we have this sort of weapons bay over here, which is really cool. You've got the dunk water. Of course, this is where Kosi's going to go once we have all his fig parts. And of course, this is the sort of the full armada in some ways. Actually, let me grab a link and we can sort of dot him through here. We can pray to the goddess, and then of course we've got the mop there, which would be for Jeren in game. We'll probably do her eventually, but she's not quite a priority. And then let's do this rather scary. Hello. You can sort of crawl through into the back cave, which is of course where the bargainer statue, the horn statue, and then the passageway to the castle would be. We've got the candles on the walls, ominous, they're burning low, no wax in those. We've got a couple of makeshift tools and weapons. So we've got a normal pickaxe here, but this one's really fun. This is a sort of a fused stick, except for it's not fused by Link, it's just something that the Hyruleans are experimenting with. There's some dialogue and stuff in the basement that sort of selects that. We've got the Zono research area, so those are all pendants will have flags on. There'll be a missing poster on there. The Frox drawing, so actually I think we're going to need to move that over because I don't want to damage the I don't want to damage these prints, so probably be more like that, and we'll have the Frox here and then the fuse diagram here, which is really fun. I'll show you those when we put the stickers. And then over here we have the monster fighter area, where of course like this is where you get the quest to like go help the monster control crews and do all the sightings of the Froxes and stuff. So that's fun. So that'll have a map and or 2 maps on there, and we've got the mini micro figures there as well. And then a big grate in the middle, because of course this is where figures are going to drop down through the middle of Lookout Landing. And yeah, walls are up to full height. There's barely any parts left. I reckon this will take another hour and a half, maybe slightly more if we run into some trouble, but I'm going to start obviously picking up these big rock panels and then bringing those to sort of form some of the cave structures and so on. And then we'll have the well section back here. Unfortunately, not all of Ferra's parts are here yet either, so things are going all right. Although, to be honest, I think once this is done and I know if there's any trouble, I'm supposed to wait for Great Sky Island to know if there's going to be any trouble with that one, but I don't think I will. I think I'm going to place another bricklink order, see if I can get the parts for Pura and maybe anyone else that I can, or at least make progress on that project. I really shouldn't be buying any more, but yeah, why not? Okay, time to take a tour around the outside cave network. Yes, you are correct. I have a second turntable now. Right, so over on the left-hand side, we have this contraption here. This is for the ascend lift. I will show you this, obviously, when we attach it to Lookout. It's working nice and smooth, which is good for the Technic, obviously. I've got 2 different heights here to hopefully mean that Link will pop through all the way. I don't know if it'll be high enough. I don't really want to go any higher down here, though, because it's going to look really weird. Another moss patch. We've got some clips here, so this is so that a hobgoblin or creature could attach there and make it look like they're throwing a boulder, because behind here I have like an actuator lever that's now sent that flying, so yeah, you can launch boulders as you go around, and we just got some nice rock detailing as well, so that's cool. And then obviously this is just storage space. Now in the original model this was designed to be open because we didn't know if we were going to have an air pump for the secret for Lookout Landing, so this was designed to be storage space, so I'm just storing the extra boulders down here. These are temporary, these are just I was working out the height I'm going to need, because I want to build a structure here to help support the tower, just because I'm paranoid. So obviously I want to make sure I can still access my lever, but I'm storing my extra boulders down here. There is another one, but I'm playing with that at the moment. Around here at the back, so this is again directly behind the bunker, and we have a horn statue. Hair pieces are in the mail, a bright bloom, and then a spiderweb here, and then this suspicious rock. These of course are the rocks that you're able to blow up either yourself or with Yonobo that we well, I've got his ball here that you would pow into that, but effectively what's going on is, you can see it's nice and loose. That was a bad one. Is I can launch that, and usually this flies everywhere and then reveals a treasure chest where we would have gems and rewards. Let's reset that and try that once more, because as usual when filming, it didn't work as well as it did off camera. Oh, I missed. Yeah, that's great. I would like this to actually flip up though, because treasure, you know, that would be ideal. So I may faff around with this a little bit more. There we go, that's more like it. Anyway, doesn't matter. Basic room around the back, you know, using the space. Here we have the well. You can see making use of big ugly rock pieces all over. We've got this trickle of water. Remember, this is directly below the well hole in the model. And then we've got a diary table here for a book, because this is of course where Pharaoh is going to be, which is cool. We've got a treasure chest in here. With a, well, it's where I'm storing my Technic pins, but this is the treasure chest that is hidden behind the light like. I've actually kept the stickers on these panels. It's, by the way, it's significantly cheaper to buy these big panels with stickers on in grey than it is without them, so I kept 2 on there because it actually kind of looks like cave flora. But this is the light cave, so we've got some bright blooms, some more dead vegetation, and then we've got our light which can come all the way up, it can twist, it can come down and sort of look like you've attacked it, or it can if you're careful pose it sort of up in the air. Of course it's got all these teeth, so it can grab a figure. I will probably have it grab a figure on the day, and then again it's guarding that treasure chest, and there's another doorway through here, so you can imagine that goes into other caves. And then of course it will actually connect up to the rest of it. I'm still missing these pieces to fix here, and obviously some stuff on the top, but yeah, those are every cave here. Obviously there'll be more detail in the proper video, but I want to move on because these videos are getting long, and go build up the front section, starting with front right, because that's the one that goes in first, and just continue to put off the problems with Lookout Landing. So the stickers are all stickered up. We've got the 2 maps, the 2 crests here, the mist poster, and then of course the new pizza tile to go with all the others. This was the fused one I was talking about. This is a brand new one that I designed. You can see it was originally supposed to be 2 by 3 long, but I had to cut it, and it's showing their sort of thesis behind, oh, we could use their horns for weapons and stuff. And then we have a drawing of my my frocks, which is kind of cool to have. So let's put these in the build. And here's just one last quick overview of all the stickers. They really do bring a scene like that to life, don't they? So we've got the maps over on the wall, then we've got the Zonai area, we've got our beautiful drawings on the table, another one of the missing posters, that's the same as Lookout, and then over on this side we have the pizza as well, right above the stands. Ah, that's so cool.
I love it. I specifically love how many are in this area. This looks really great. Okay, back to work. Okay, and only about like 30 minutes later, we have this front section here. So I left the model in shot because it's going to go like that and magically cover up the bunker. And then obviously this hinges out the way the same as the front of Lookout Landing does. It is mostly a front cave section, so obviously each different section is a theme. So this front big arch is a cave, and obviously we've got the like and the ascend feature, and the big section at the front is a Horrible cave, and then you've got various different scenes around the front. So this very much is designed to connect with that. You can see, of course, we've even got the archway through here with another one of those handles, and another couple over here, and those of course are designed for the Horriblins as well. Also, I'll point out that if you had it in the Lookout Secret Cave combo position permanently, which I may do after the show in April, you could attach these to the ceiling instead, so you can actually have them crawling up there as well, which was originally a feature of the model. But as I said, yeah, this didn't take long to get put together. Before we take a look at the details, I want to point out again, this Technic base. I really am thinking that when I have access to the parts, I'm just going to replace all of these with just colour brick, because like, what a waste of Technic parts. It definitely increased the budget. However, obviously, yeah, like, I'm not upset about it because those Technic parts will eventually be used in the big horror castle, and of course are really, really useful. So like, it's an investment in my parts collection. So like, I can't be really upset about it, but it's just a waste having them in here because it really isn't necessary. This should just be like a big Mills brick. So I'll probably be changing it out at some point in the future, maybe even later in this video. We'll see how it goes. We've got the two platforms here, and yeah, that's just frustrating because realistically, what I think I've discovered about Secret Cave in particular, and why it doesn't feel quite as strong as Lookout Landing, even though I've actually almost enjoyed putting this one together more than the other one. I don't know, maybe it's just been less stressful. It's just kind of been easy. I've had no mistakes, no part errors, no like, oh my god, it's going to fall apart kind of moments. So what my realization is, I just think it's poorly designed. Again, part of that is because it has to be absolutely massive to go underneath Lookout Landing, but just stuff like this is stupid. Like, nowadays I'd know better. This is only 2 years old, and it's just like, what was I thinking? You know, it feels like the first time I've done one that I really like it still, but it feels rushed. Then again, I've always had a mixed relationship with Secret Cave Discovery, and I do think that it's turned out well. Here you can see our stand-in Horriblin. He's climbing up the cliff here. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Again, I talked about this in the past, but when taking this to shows, brickbat Horriblins are just not going to do the job. People aren't going to know what they are. It's more useful for me just to choose something that people can identify as a monster, as a creature that is evil, and just have them crawling. And I think the Cyclops is the closest one to that. A couple of bright blooms around, and nothing interesting. Yeah, and then obviously the back side is designed to be hollow. You can see, luckily, these match up to the arches, so that when this goes on here, we don't end up in any trouble. And you can see there's a little bit of leeway, but it almost acts as a guiding rail. But yeah, I think it's poorly designed. I want to change out the base, and we will do at some point in the future, I think. Probably when I transport this to the show, what I might do is I might take it fully apart and then just rebuild it at the other end, because it was quite a quick build, only a couple of hours, and then make those changes there, and then I can get all those Technic frames back, which will hopefully save me a couple of quid in the future, although I'm going to need a lot more than that for a big Hyrule Castle. Although actually, that might be worth pointing out, that maybe big Hyrule Castle can be done just as well with bricks and plates. Food for thought. Next one. And there's even less rock wall on this one, although this one does have more fun features. So again, we have another platform over here, as well as, of course, the rock wall. Quite like, obviously, in Studio, originally this mushroom was not on an angle. It turns out it has to be on an angle in order to not clip the wall. And this is sort of the open space, which is going to come up here and sort of angle that off. I need to move that Horrible clip, I think, because that's irritating me. But we've got a spear up here, and I should point out as well that after all of that, which one was it? I think it's the one that's most hidden. This is the first and only broken brown piece we've had in the entirety of the Lookout build series. After all that brown up above, we only had one piece, and it was a tiny fracture. Basically, the corner has split apart, and I just had a crack, and it was like one of the last pieces I placed. It was so funny. However, no breaks throughout the whole thing, which obviously brittle brown's quite common, so it's a bit surprising it happened, that I managed to get through this out without any problems. But yeah, more bright blooms around. These, of course, are the bright cat mushrooms. We have more handles on here for our Cyclops Horriblins. And then, of course, I have a little secret inside this one here, where we have a skeleton, and this skeleton is supposed to reference Tingle, of course, as well. So he is hidden away in there, which is also a homage to the Rancor set, because this is something that happened in that set. But yeah, there he is with his map and paintbrush, sealed away, and that's going to be really fun to show at shows. Inside this chest, again, I'm using it to store random stuff at the moment. So this is a bushing that I was supposed to put in the base of the model, just I never did. And again, this one is completely hollow around the back. This one was also built up, of course, on a largely Technic base, so we'll be changing that. And as I said, when we line them up together, they're going to look great. I just need to, yeah, I need to change that. That's going to irritate me, and I know it's going to cause trouble for the model as well. Plus, it just just doesn't need to be there. But yeah, back, well, I should actually call them front sections done, and we're ready to clip them on. Well, surprise, I got some parts in and we have some figure updates. So firstly, really easy one, both of the glide variants for the Lookout Landing Tower now have the hair that we used on the archaic Scenic Link. Small upgrade. I don't know, let me know if you guys prefer the original hairs or not, because this was the plan, but I was able to get hold of these. And this all happened because I needed to place a Bricks and Pieces order, because I wanted to finish my Kraken Knights. And that meant that I could actually get some hair for these two guys as well. So this is our Pura figure. Now, I'm not happy with it. Before you go and sound off, obviously the one I want is the Princess Harumi hair with the chopsticks in it, but that is a ridiculously expensive figure. It's like a 40 quid figure. It's not happening unless that part becomes cheaper or appears on Bricklink. So for now, this one here, which is a friend's hairpiece, will have to do either that, or I could change out for the Madame Memorable one from the Wicked line as well. But again, bear with me. It looks like this hairpiece, this head is here is perfect. This is from Harley Quinn from the Batman movie. I love this face here with the open mouth and obviously the red glasses, but also this one here works fantastically for her. Ignore the back printing, obviously I'll rub that off at some point, but we went for a robe combo and then using the legs here. Those are actually the legs from David from the Lilo and Stitch set, which was nice and convenient because it's the torso we used for Taro. Now, something to know about both of these guys is they are both still missing cloth elements. Again, I have to draw the line somewhere. We've done a lot of figures for this module and they all come from different sets and so on. So it's really hard to get hold of all these parts, but we will have a blue cloth that was used on an Alfred figure to add the blue layering to her skirt here. And then for Taro, we're gonna have the teal skirt piece to go around here to be the jacket that he has around his waist. But yeah, we're using these cowboy legs, which have medium nougat boots on here, which actually match with his skin tone, just to make it look like he's got his sandals on and so on. He's obviously got the magnifying glass. As I mentioned, David's torso. I may keep the tattoo, we'll see. And then the braided headpiece from Dreams, and then this wonderful smile, which suits him really well. No back of head. But yeah, this he really needs that extra color, so he doesn't just look like he's really running around shirtless, but like effectively that's the character from the game. So I'm quite happy with him as well. So those were two really big ones that I was particularly quite happy to get sorted. But it's not the only ones, as I was able to grab at great expense the face for Kosi. But I was looking through almost all of the Bricklink heads, or all the heads they've ever done with moustaches, and there was just nothing that suited him so perfectly. So you can see here he's hammering away at a sword. He's still got the paladin legs and the torso. There is an Obi-Wan torso I may change out for him at some point, but for now that's fine. We also have Farah. I talked about doing her for the wells that you've seen earlier. She's just got a jacket on. This is a newer print that came, I believe, in the 2025 holiday Christmas visit. As I said, I was doing a Bricks and Pieces order and I saw this part and I thought, well, that would be perfect for a civilian. And then I decided to do it for Farah. Obviously, I wish this was in purple, but it does not come in a subtle purple. So here she is. With her face, and she'll have a pen eventually to write down all of her well notes, although she has a book down there, so it's not too much of a big deal. And then I caved on Mubs. Originally I had her in the new dark umber skin tone, which ideally I would like to change it out for eventually, but part availability is just really rough at the moment in that colour because it is still a newer colour. So for now we've gone back to reddish brown, and she's literally just got a white shirt with the dark olive parts. And it was more so just a case of I really wanted to have her, and these parts were available at stores I was buying from anyway, so at least this way we have a temporary one. She'll be upgraded eventually. At least that's the dream. And then we have a couple more. We're done with named characters now. I'm just so pleased to have the shopkeeper as well as obviously a pro. We've still got Joshua, Robbie and so on to do, but here is a Zono survey team member. This is, it's all right, it could be better, but there's not a huge amount of torsos in teal. So instead of having the puffer jacket piece or whatever, because they don't come around, we've got these overalls, and I still haven't erased the black print, but we've got the flat cap here and so on. And I'm just noticing now that the hands do not match the head skin tone, so that's fun. I may have to change one of those out, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we've just got, well, it's a fairly standard figure, but this will go great with Taro, especially once Taro has that teal accent as well. So these two can go and research the little ancient bit that we have in Lookout Landing. And then as for unnamed civilians, we have this guy here who is using the Series 20 Viking torso. I found this actually on the floor. Which sounds shocking, but it's true. And then just whatever face, and then I've given this hat is, yeah, just a normal civilian. He's got black gloves on. He could be defense crew, but I'm not really sure. He's just another nice one to have. And then I have these two here. Now these two are special because you may be thinking, well, Octane, you bought another Dragon Paladin. That figure's really expensive. Except for I didn't. This is the keychain. So if I take the legs off, if it's gonna let me, So legs are off here. Yeah, this is the Dragon Paladin keychain, which is actually something that's available in your local LEGO store right now. You can, if you hold the keychain portion over a candle, obviously being careful not to burn the Dragon Paladin, get the keychain out, and then I have this perfectly usable, and obviously I could take the arms out because you'll notice I've changed the arms out for sand blue. Have another sort of purist Hylian soldier. Gave the arms to this one and this Viking torso, which I've inverted. And then there we have two more sort of guards or members of the monster control crews. As I still think that this armor set is the closest we currently have to Hylian soldiers. If you guys remember Scorpus, we were using the back piece, which looks even better for this, obviously with some decal work and so on. But if you're just looking for somewhat appropriate medieval soldiers for your Hylians, using the back of this torso, I've chosen to use the front here for variation. And these legs and arms, I think, is the closest we can currently get. So we have another 2 soldiers for it, which brings our figure count to quite a substantial count now. But I'll show you that once we're all sorted. So it's at this point I have no choice. We have to go back to Lookout Landing and fix the problem. Alright, I'm underneath it, and you can see what I mean. They are connected. This is currently one additional layer, but look, it's free supported. It is, you can see the latches. It is floating, it is holding. Now it does not take much to... So lucky that didn't fall away. I just didn't think it through. So here, I just wanted to prove a point. I'm going to lift up the model and just show you the underneath. I've been hard at work adding these 2x8 tiles and everything over here. A bit disgruntled to have wasted all those lovely pad parts there. Again, I'll probably change them out for like scrap parts eventually. I don't know if they're going to quite line up with the holes in Secret Cave yet. I haven't tested that, although I have seen the whole model on top of each other, and let me say we're close to making it work. But yeah, here you can see the new layer, and it's all of us, it's in the air. It guys, right? I mean, it's done. We're now tooth plate stick. It stacks. You've seen me lift it. I've proved it. I'll show you this other clip as well of me just spinning it around. I know this isn't great proof. I don't have a single big enough surface to show you the full lift here. So what I'm gonna do is it's not cheating. Look, we can pull that apart. I just lifted this actually, so it is so okay. It's a little scary still, admittedly, right? Like, obviously the nerves are pretty strong. But what I will do is, obviously there's one more video coming, and that video will be of it at Reading, and I'll show off all the features properly. But we've got the light like. I can show you footage of this working as well. This works great. The boulders are still back there. Of course, all the rooms around the back. And I'm kind of just a bit speechless because, I mean, it took time, right? Like, it fell over so many other times off camera that you didn't even see. And I have a fully populated, complete Hylian village and some pretty cool shelves at the moment. And I'm a little lost for words. I'm proud and scared because the ultimate test of this is obviously taking it to a show. It's going to Reading Brick Festival in April. And it's going to have to do 2 days of this. I don't know. But thank you so much for sticking with this journey. This is not the last you'll be seeing of it. As I said, you can watch all 3 parts to see me test various different pieces and so on. But if you want to actually see the full thing, everything demonstrated at once, there'll be a full video coming out on that. once we go to the show, because quite frankly I think that is the only table big enough for me to do this all in the showmanship way, and hopefully this year we're going to film some more there as well. But hope you guys like it in real life. Yeah, you're kind of speechless, and yeah, all the feedback, please, all the feedback, figures and more. And yeah, thank you so much as always, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye bye.